So I'm going to do a review which is going to be very odd, and you might pick up along the way why it's odd, but I'll tell you at the end. Nosferatu, based on Bram Stoker's Dracula. Also based on the vampire films of a guy named Henrik Galeen. Oh, and this is total spoiler video. Apparently the director for the exterior shots of Count Dracula's, or Count Orlok in this case's castle, the exteriors were the actual castle where Vlad the Impaler, was killed or lived or something. Now this guy Robert Eggers, he did a movie called The Witch, 2 V's for the W, and everybody loved it to death. I watched it once. I didn't like it. I found it boring. Very beautifully shot, though. Very well acted. Then I watched it a second time, and I still thought it sucked. Don't understand why everybody loves it. And then he did a movie called The Lighthouse, which I tried to watch. It was in black and white with Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe. I couldn't watch it. I actually did read the original Dracula by Bram Stoker when I was a kid. But you may have noticed that movies have replaced books, so now you don't need to bother with the book, you just watch the movie and it's easier, right? But I have a feeling reading and writing is going to make a comeback. Just like people are buying vinyl and record players again. There's something really cool about a physical book that you can read rather than a file you watch on your computer or that you stream on TV. Okay, so one night, a girl, her name is Ellen, she cries and prays for anyone or anything to ease her loneliness. And then a mysterious creature attacks her and leaves her convulsing in a seizure. And then we move to years later in the winter of 1838. Ellen, she's living in a town called Wisberg, Germany, with her husband Thomas. And he's a real estate agent, or estate agent. Hoping to find financial security, Thomas accepts a commission from his employer, Herr Knock. Herr is German for Mr., so Mr. Knock, to sell Schloss Grunwald, a decrepit stately home in Wisberg, to the reclusive and eccentric Count Orlok. Ellen becomes fearful and asks Thomas to stay with her, confessing that before their wedding she dreamed she married Death himself, with only corpses in attendance, and found herself enjoying it. And like every horror movie, he dismisses her fears. And, what does she know? And he goes to Dracula's castle, or Count Orlok's castle, in Transylvania. And he leaves her with his friend Frederick, and his friend and his wife Anna and their young daughters. When dude arrives in Transylvania, Thomas, he's shunned by the Romani peasantry for associating with Orlok. And then later that night he witnesses them impaling what they claim is a vampire's corpse with an iron stake. The corpse jolts in pain and vomits blood. The next morning he finds the village has been deserted. Wow, this is a long movie. Okay, so Thomas arrives at the castle late that evening, and he's greeted by an impatient and menacing Orlok, who dines with him and insists on finalizing the purchase of the mansion, the castle. Orlok disregards Thomas's inquiry about the visitors and what he witnessed. And when Thomas cuts his thumb on a bread knife, Orlok mesmerizes him and drinks his blood, revealing that he's a vampire. Wow, who would have guessed? I mean, his name is Orlok, not Dracula, so who would have guessed? The next night, Orlok takes Thomas's locket, which has a lock of Ellen's hair, and he has him sign a mysterious document written in an occult script. Haunted by nightmares, a weakened and feverish Thomas demands to return home, but Orlok insists he stay until he is no longer ill. Later, Thomas finds Orlok sleeping in his coffin and attempts to kill him with a pick, but the Count awakens and attacks Thomas, feeding on his blood and leaving him for dead. The next morning, fleeing Orlok's wolves... Jesus Christ. Thomas falls from a window into a river while escaping, so it's the Dracula story. He's found and nursed back to health by nuns at a nearby church. They urge him to stay and recover, but he rushes back to wherever it was, home, to protect Ellen. Meanwhile, Orlok, aka Dracula, sails for, I think it's Wisberg, with a crate of his grave with dirt to sustain him and plague-infested rats, killing the ship's crew along the way. So it's the Dracula story. And then, meanwhile, Ellen suffers from bouts of sleepwalking and seizures, which the doctor struggles to treat. She gets more sick, and the doctor consults someone else, and an occultist, Albin Eberhard von Franz. In other words, Van Helsing. See, you can make a movie, a whole new movie out of something if you just change the names of the characters. So von Franz, aka Van Helsing, realizes Ellen's under the influence of the Nosferatu, a demonic, plague-bearing vampire. The doctor's skeptical, thinks it's just anxiety. And Knock, he's the guy with that I think was the real estate. I don't even know who he was. He's institutionalized, and both him and Ellen are prophesizing that Orlok's coming. Now, the doctor and the occultist, the Van Helsing guy, they realize that the two are influenced by Orlok. So, searching Knock's office, they discover that Orlok is the Nosferatu. Okay, great. What a long movie. So Thomas returns to Wisberg. That's what it is called, Wisberg. And Orlok's arrival brings the plague. Knox, the guy that's in the insane asylum, he escapes custody, kills a porter, and escorts Orlok to Grunwald, which, I don't know, I thought that was the castle. Orlok appears to Ellen in a dream, and he's taunting her by claiming he tricked Thomas into signing divorce papers. He warns her that she must approve the divorce within 2 nights and reaffirm the pact she made when she summoned him as a child, or he will kill Thomas and let the plague consume Wisberg. Thomas learns of Ellen's past occurrence with Orlok, and after she suffers another seizure, they have sex. Oh, isn't that nice? Orlok witnesses them, which is cool, and brutally murders Anna and her children to demonstrate his power. That's mean. Von Franz Helsing, Van Helsing from his occult research, theorizes that the Nosferatu can only be truly destroyed through the willing sacrifice of a fair maiden. Okay, I never heard of that before. And he and Ellen hatch a plan to trap Orlok and keep Thomas diverted, as she chooses to sacrifice herself to save the city. Later, a grief-stricken Friedrich dies of the plague while committing necrophilia with his wife's corpse. That's very nice, too. Upon finding Friedrich's body, the doctor, then Thomas and Van Helsing, von Franz, proceeds to burn the family mausoleum. Okay, I think we're getting to the end. Long movie. Von Franz rallies Thomas and Sievers to destroy Orlok's resting place at Schloss Grunwald as a distraction, while Ellen physically summons Orlok to her chamber. The 3 men unexpectedly unexpectedly find knock in Orlok's coffin and kill him. Von Helsing proceeds to burn the crypt. Okay, we're getting there. However, Thomas realizes the expedition was a diversion and rushes back to save Ellen. She allows Orlok to feast on her blood while they have sex until sunrise. Oh, that's hot. At which point the sunlight causes Orlok to shrivel up and perish, reverting to an inanimate corpse. Thomas boists into the bedroom, and holds Ellen's hand as she dies, having brought an end to Orlok and the plague. So that sounds kind of fun. Because, surprise, I didn't watch the movie, I just read the plot summary on Wikipedia. So you see, I told you, writing and reading is gonna make a comeback. You don't need to watch movies anymore, just read the plots. Please like me. Please encourage me. Please comment on me. Please subscribe to me. Please notification bell. Thank you.